Hi, my name is Elle. I'm a cross-stitch artist and designer here on TikTok, and today we're going to be talking some more about color blending. Kat has a question over here. Another way of doing color blending is going all one direction in one color and then going back the other direction with the second color, and it's good for depth. Could you show that? Personally, I've never tried this before, but let's pull out the training hoop and give it a shot. We're going to be using 2 different shades of pink because that's what I found first. All right, so here we go. We are going to start our first little square down here with the darker color on the bottom, and then we'll go back and put the lighter color on the top for the second half of the stitches. And then for shits and giggles, maybe we'll do a second square above this where we put the lighter color on the bottom and see what kind of difference that makes. So we've got our dark color down. We're going to add our lighter pink over the top now. And just a reminder, we are using 2 strands as we're doing this, but I suppose this could be a good way to do color blending with an odd number of strands. If you typically stitch with 1 or 3 strands, color blending can get a little tricky. So this could be a good way to get around that. All right, give me a sec to finish this up. All right, so there is our pink with the color blending with the darker on the bottom and the lighter on top. And down below we have black and red color blended in the traditional method where you use 1 strand of each color. With these particular colors, it actually looks pretty good like this. I think the bigger the color disparity is going to be, the larger this is going to stand out a little bit, but it could be really great for adding like depth or showing light sources or things like that to a piece. But I don't know that I would use this if I was working on a piece that was doing a color gradient. So if I was moving from the light pink down to the darker pink below and I had some area that was both of these together, I think I would want to go with this type of color blending instead. But I do think that there is a time and a place where this could work. Like I said, if you're looking for like light source where you're trying to show that and give a little bit of a different type of depth, or if you're working with an odd number of strands, I think that could work really well. Give me one more second. I'm going to do another box up above where I put the lighter color on the bottom and the darker color on top, and just because I want to see what that looks like too. Here we go. All right, there's the light on bottom. Let's do the dark on top. Take one more look. All right, so here's the last bit of that. As you can see, even though these have the exact same colors, all we did was layer the different one on top, and they have a very different look to them. Personally, I don't like this top one as much. However, I still do think it could have some useful applications. I'm imagining that if you were doing this with shades of blue for like an underwater scene where you're wanting to really show off like dappled light, or like a forest scene with the dappled light, things like that, switching up where you're using these 2 different types of color blending, or even all 3 of these different color blendings as you're moving across a piece like that, could give you some really interesting texture and stuff like that as you're moving across your piece, and that could be really, really interesting. But that said, no pattern is going to tell you which of these 3 styles to use and where to use them. That's going to be up to you as the artist to decide which of these ones is going to be right for you and where and how you want to use those. I hope that was helpful or at least interesting, and happy stitching!